Why, hello, badasses. I've decided that that's what we just need to use for all the time. Well, while I feel like it. Hello, hello, hello. It is the Coffee Run Live. I am a little late. I've been chatting with a gentleman by the name of David on a radio interview where we were chatting about the book Visible, which was really fun and awesome. So I thank you so much for your patience with me coming on a little later. So what I thought that I would talk with you about, I actually had an email question. Hey, good morning. Had an email question about putting together an online program. So the question is, I am putting together a new online program. Do you have any sort of marketing timeline that you follow in terms of advertising a new program? So I thought that if that was a question that came through, then maybe you might need to hear the answers to that also. As we're going along, let me know that you're coming on and please say hello so I don't think that I'm just the only one talking to myself. And obviously if you've got any questions that pop up for you that you'd like me to answer for you, type them on in and I'd love to answer them. So this question about promotion and online programs. So I guess that first and foremost, the thing that we need to work out, if you've got a program that you want to deliver, I'm looking for a blank paper, then it depends on, first of all, it depends on when you want to roll out that program and how you want the program to roll out. So for example, I released yesterday the hottest fuck the Blitz, which is like the 2-day thing that's happening tomorrow and Friday here online. And there was really no launch period for it. I mean, other than, maybe a 24, 36-hour window because I'm doing it on Thursday. It was just like let's rip off the Band-Aid and just, jump on in. So in that sense, I didn't have it's not really a launch timeline because it was just like, this has come out of me. I need to quickly do something with it. Let's just get it on out there. So that's the first part. That's a little abnormal, right? Now, if you have decided that you're running an online course in the way that I used to run them, so what would happen for me is I used to run an online course every 8 weeks. Actually, about every 8 weeks. So I would run it 5 times a year. Hey, Tamara, sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm speaking so fast because I'm all hopped up from this radio interview. So let's just get grounded again. Okay, so what I used to do was I would run the same program 5 times a year. It was an 8-week program and it was a training on how to use social media for marketing. So it would have lead generation training. We'd talk about content. We'd talk about how to use the platforms. I would teach you how to run webinars. Like I would teach all of the things that I did and used every single day in my business. I would teach people how to do that. And I did that for, oh golly, I think I ran it maybe 40 times. Maybe it was more, maybe it was 30 times. I had to look at the volume of that. Now, what I would do, because I was running that particular program, I'm not doing it now. Like you can't buy that from me. Just FYI, this is not some sneaky little sales trick. I do not teach people how to do Facebook ads anymore. It's just not at all what I do. So what I would do is I used to run that in February. I'd run it in February, March, April. I'd run it in June. I would usually have August or September off depending on what was going on in my year. So I'd run it around July and then certainly one usually in October, and then I'd usually get another bonus sort of one in November that would run November, December. So my marketing and my advertising was constant. Right? So it wasn't like all right, I've got this 90-day launch window where I'm just going to do that and then sell into something. I would have it going ongoing. So if your online program or whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're wanting to sell into is able to have people come in at any time, then your marketing, your launch process, your timeline that you'll go through is actually going to be ongoing, All right. So what that might mean is that you're doing, it might be a webinar every week or every fortnight, or I would suggest weekly. It might be where you are always advertising for lead generation to get people into said webinar or into a live stream or something like that. So that's that part of it. Now, alternatively, if you've got something, and this is what I would normally do, if I've got a program that I'm promoting, so for example, I ran the Amplification Project last month, I think it was the start of April. I think we started on the 5th of April and I ran that for 21 days. I had a 2-week launch period that I talked about that program constantly. So it's where in my email marketing, in my Facebook posts, my Facebook cover was all about the Amplification Project. The live streams I talked about, like on there, I would always say, hey, we're doing this really great program, blah, blah, blah. So I would usually promote something if it's got a finite time and it's got a particular start date and a particular end date, then you're going to create marketing that fits that. So it just depends on what it is that your goal is and what your the program that you're selling. Let me know that that makes sense. Now, let's say that you were doing a promotion into an online course that you want to start, let's pretend in 3 weeks' time, right? So we've got a 3-week timeline. What you're looking at, what I would look at, is breaking this down into week 1, week 2, week 3. This is my very fancy schmancy sketch on here, right? So you got a 3-week timeline. So in week 1, I would be looking at, okay, so I need to talk about it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because you're in launch mode. So the first thing that you're going to do, the very, very first thing that you're going to do is on a Monday, you want to actually, like, I know this is back to front, but you guys are really clever. You, like, one of your super secret powers, your super secret superpowers is your ability to be able to read backwards, right? So let's roll. Okay, so we've got a 3-week launch timeline. Oh, crap. Oops, a daisy. Sorry about that. And then what we've got is we've got week 1, Monday. All right. So what's the first thing that you have to do? Well, you have to launch the freaking thing, right? Which means I've just broke my pen. oh no, I haven't. Oh my gosh, I feel like I've just broken the rollerball of writing with my Mont Blanc, and I think I've just screwed the nib. That's really annoying. Man. So that's more than a little annoying. All right. So the first thing that you need to do in Monday of week 1 is you've got to launch it. Now, what does launching even fucking mean? Well, you might have a pre-launch process as well. So we've got pre-launch, we've got launch, we've got all this, that, and the other. So a launch is like literally where you if you imagine that you've got a retail store and you've got the doors shut, right? You've got black plastic all over the front of the store because you've been working your magic inside. What a pre-launch might look like, and I did this yesterday actually, and because I'll talk to you about that in a sec. So I was like literally journaling, and I've had this idea just gone like, it felt like, I want to say almost like an exorcism, but that's not what I mean. It just felt like this kind of divine outpouring of like all of the things. And so I put that post up just going, oh my God, I just had the most crazy, ridiculous idea. I'm in the middle of another thing, talking about another thing, and this thing just won't leave me alone. Like I have to talk about it. I'll let you know when I've got it all typed up. So that would be like a pre-launch, right? So pre-launch is where you're talking about the things that are leading up and building up a little bit of drama, building up a little bit of story. So you might say, I've had this really amazing, great idea. I've been talking to some clients and this is what they said that they want and need. And so, you know what? I'm just so generous. I have to open it up to all of you. You might even create a free thing that whets their appetite, so to speak, in order for them to kind of get a little bit excited about what's to come. So think about it. It's almost like what musicians do, or not actually even so much musicians, but it's more what the movie franchises do. They put out their trailers. They get you excited and revved up and warmed up for the movie that's going to grace the theaters with its presence. And that's pre-launch, right? Or they're talking about we've just signed the contracts to go and do the new Star Wars movies, for instance, like what Disney's had. So it's almost like that building up. It's not even the trailers yet. So then what happens is we then have to announce, okay, doors are open. It's the most bestest, amazing, most awesomest, bestest, amazing thing that I've ever done. You're going to freaking love it. This is all the stuff. So it's like high intensity, high vibe, excitement that has to be created in it. Because if you're not excited about your stuff, guess what? They're not going to be excited about your stuff. Whether it's a chakra pyramid, whether it's a brand new set of coasters that you've created, whether it's a pet, like whatever the heck it is, like you've got to be excited about what it is that you're about to put out there, about what you're launching, right? So launching is the time period of when you're talking and you're in active promotion and selling mode. Now, we still want to be putting out our value-based content throughout all of this time, okay? So it means that, yes, you're selling, but you're also adding value, because there'll be a lot of people that aren't even ready to buy from you yet, or maybe it's just not quite the right time for them, or it's not quite the right thing for them. So we don't just want them to think that, oh wow, all this person's doing is selling a freaking, coffee cup. I'm not ready for a new coffee cup yet. So we add value, we add content, we build conversation, we build rapport. We let them know a bit about what you're excited about and things like that. I trust that makes sense. So you might talk about it once a week in week 1. And then in week 2, we want to up the ante a bit. So you might talk about it a couple of times a day, right? Talk about the new thing that you're doing. Hey, Melanie. So you might say, okay, so I know that we've got 5 problems that my audience has, 5 main problems. And so you might solve or give some advice or some tips on problems that your audience have throughout week 2, once a day. And you're also selling. So that might look like, hey, I know how hard it is for you to live toxin free in your own home. And so this is what we need to do. And this is a piece of advice. By the way, I've got this really great house audit tool that you can buy for $50. I don't know what that might be. I was making some things up on the fly. So, you can be adding value, call to action, add value, call to action, add value, call to action, add value, call to action. Not dissimilar to what we're doing today. So, obviously I would really love to have you guys in the Hottest Fuck Blitz that happens tomorrow and Friday. And I'll post a link later because I don't have it handy right now. That was, flew out of me. But what I know is that for some of you, it'll be like, yes, I need that. And then some others of you will be like, man, no, it's not really for me. I had one lady email me yesterday going, that's too much as fuck for me. I'm just like, okay, cool, that's fine. So what I'm getting at is that today's live stream is, it's almost like that the thing that we're selling at the moment is kind of like there, but it's about giving you guys as much value as I possibly can as well, because I know that if I keep doing that, then as we build and grow and get to know each other more, you might eventually go, okay, yeah, cool, Nick. I really need to come to your event in August, or I really need to buy your book, or I really need to be in that Hottest Fuck Blitz because I don't even know what we're doing, but that sounds really freaking awesome and I just love the name and so I need to buy it. I had one girl email me or message me yesterday and was like, oh my God, I need to buy all of your new programs. I just need all of them. It's like, well, there you go. So, but my job is to make sure, particularly when we're in that launch timeline, is that I'm still building relationships, right? That's something that's really important to me. And I know that it's really important to you guys as well. It's like, if you've got questions, let me know. I want to make sure always that I'm serving. Hey, Andrea. And so if you're shifting your social media experience into that way and shifting your launch timeline, whether people buy or not, they still get huge amounts of value. And, you know, that just helps to build trust and rapport. And when they are ready to take that leap, you'll be the first person that they're like, oh my God, yes, you know, I just need to do this. I've been waiting for this particular thing. So then we're into week 3 in this instance, right? So week 3, what you'd be looking at, so week 1, we're talking about it probably once a day, as in like this type of thing. You might put some extra posts out, so a live stream where you mention it once a day. You might do a Facebook post where you mention it once a day. You'll definitely talk about it via email once a day. They're kind of like your overt sales things, right? Week 2, I would definitely double it. And then in week 3, what you've got the ability to start to talk about is that this is closing soon, right? And this is one of the good things, like or one of the benefits, I suppose, of having a launch that is finite and time bound, is that you can literally say, look, guys, there's 24 hours left. Like if you miss out on this, then you miss out on this. You know, it's gone. You actually won't be able to buy it. So I would up the ante, and I would increase that, the volume in which that you're talking about it. Certainly up the volume of times that you're talking about it. And then particularly in the last few days, you can say 3 days left or 3 sleeps left to go. You can still add more value, right? But really you want to talk it up. Now, I know that some of you might be sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, but I don't just want to always be selling to my people. And I hear you. It is something that I have worked through in different ways, shapes and forms over the years. And I guess the thing that we want to shift into, and what I would recommend that you think about, is that Coles, for instance, one of the big supermarkets here in Australia, if you go into Coles, they've always got, every week, they've got new things on sale. They're enticing you every single freaking day to buy the latest thing, the next thing, the water, the pen, the coffee, the tea, the chocolate biscuits, the things that we should need, you know, or in my world, I don't like to eat. Sometimes I like to eat it. Sometimes I don't like to eat it. It just kind of depends on what I'm doing. Hey, so I guess in that sense, in that last week where you're really upping the ante, then you've got to get past this thing, well, what if people only ever see that I'm selling? What you've done is you've actually, because you've built up the value over a protracted period of time, you've actually got a whole lot of trust in the trust account, right? You got a whole lot of trust in the trust account. So if you're giving them a reason why you're always selling, it's like literally like this is closing down tomorrow, you won't be able to get in, right? Then they're like, oh, that's cool. Like it's not for me. They're not sitting there going, oh my God, you are a fucking evil person because all you do is try and sell me your amazing stuff. Or, you know, they're not, if they think that you are a fraud or I'm trying to think of like an old time word, like a cad. I don't know, like if they think that you're like some kind of hooligan who is trying to force them into parting with their money, then, you know, that's one thing. They're not even going to be looking at your stuff anyway, right? So take out that fear of, oh my God, I can't promote it. I can't promote it every day. People are just going to think that I'm always selling. Well, you have to fucking sell. Otherwise you're not going to make any money, right? It's just the truth. It's just how it is. So build it up over time and just make sure that you're also constantly adding value and adding value and adding value in there. So that's the launch timeline. And if you have got, like, if you're doing what I used to do, like I was saying before, where you might run the same program every 8 weeks, for instance, throughout the course of the year, then you've got to think of different ways, perhaps, of building around some urgency. And the way that I used to do that is like, well, I've actually got this program and I don't, right? Just this is what I used to say. Particularly, let's say it's like November. I might say, well, you know what, the next program is starting in February, so make sure you get enrolled. And then that way you've got more time, because I put them in a thing that was called the green room. You've got more time to have more support from me. I'd give them pre-work before they started. So I'd have that kind of reason for them to enroll then. I'd also financially incentivize them for enrolling sooner rather than later. And I would actually work with them one-on-one between now and say the start of the program. So what month are we in now? We're in May. So I would, for instance, have a program starting in June historically. And so I would go, all right, well, it's the 15th of May. We'll do a planning session. You've got a couple of calls with me that you can have between now and the start of the program. And then we roll into the 8 weeks come the 1st of June, and we roll through for 8 weeks. So with that way you can create some sense of urgency. And remember that the longer people wait, if you do something like that, the longer people wait, the longer their life doesn't change. Actually, the longer they don't have to work with you, the longer they're sitting in that pain, whether literal or metaphoric, that pain of them experiencing either like whatever it is that you're solving for them. So not having a connected marriage, for instance, or having children that are off the rails, or not able to tap into their creative genius, or not being able to lose weight, or whatever. So you've got to have a reason to get them to move, and the longer they wait, the longer they stay stuck. That's really the mentality. So that's my answer to that very fabulous question, which was, do you have some sort of marketing timeline that you follow in terms of advertising a new program? Thank you, Kelly, for asking that. Melanie, I'm glad that made sense. And also for you, Andrea, the thing, oh my gosh, it's always about the thing. It's always about the thing. Whatever the thing is, or all of the things. Like what I wrote yesterday is like, we're going to rewire and recode all of the things. All right, I have a question in relation to your journaling, as you mentioned in a bit, and I'd love to make it a habit for myself. Just curious, but do you free journal or is it more structured? Excellent question. So I do tend to, it's a little bit more free journaling, unless there's something that's come up. For instance, I talked about this on Monday, I think. I went to a No Lights, No Lycra dance party on Friday night. It goes for an hour, and oh my God, it's so much fun. But it was really weird around like how when you're deprived of one of your senses, almost, that, you know, the way that we, you know, it really highlights the other senses and how we think. And I was like all up in my head for quite some time about how I should dance, or should I not sing, or, you know, am I doing it right? God, I must look like a dickhead, or God, I must look like a hoe, or God, I must look like I've got no rhythm. You know, it was like all of this kind of weird sort of stuff. And it's like, oh, no one can see you, so just fucking move, you know, get out of your own way, Nicola. And so that might be something, and I journal on that then. And what I find the best way to do it is that I'll just like write about whatever it is that's coming up, whatever it is that's going on. Other times, the structure often will be, and this is how like I'll write some of the blogs that I write, they come out in my journal. I'm like, oh my God, like this is so fucking boring. You know, I don't feel like I've got anything to say today. So blah, blah, blah. And so it's almost, we'll use dancing as an example. So you know how, for me anyway, if we go to a club, which is not very often, or a pub that's got a dance floor, I'm like, okay, get me a drink. I'm out on the dance floor. Or maybe I don't even need a drink. I'm just like, get me out on the dance floor, you know, and you boogie, 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 and you resist going to the toilet. Because you know, if you break that seal, you are going to be back and forth to that toilet every fucking 15 minutes. And for those of you who are women watching today, you know that every female toilet on the face of the planet comes with a lineup. So every time, like every 15 minutes, if you've got to go and you need to go to the toilet, you go and line up in that big freaking line. And it's like, you know, guys, I've had 3 children. I need you to move out of the way. And yeah, so maybe that's just me. So you've got to, like, you don't want to break the seal, right? When you're dancing, when you're out drinking. So with journaling though, for me, it's about breaking the seal. So I write and I write and I write until something good comes out of me. And it always does, because that's how I've set the intentions. So in terms of structure, I'll be writing until something just starts coming out. And then it's more like a stream of consciousness. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck that came from. It was like this hot as fuck thing yesterday. I'm just like, I don't even understand. Like, like really? Like, that was like what it was like. It was like universe, God, source, whatever. I'm just like, in my head, it's not God. It's just like this divine download. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, really? Am I really supposed to talk about this now? I'm supposed to be talking about one-on-one stuff. Like, I don't think this is the thing. And like, really? And it's like, yep. It's okay. Let's follow intuition. Are you sure? Really? Maybe I just sit on it till next week. It's like, no. Okay. So in terms of the journaling, I'll do that. And then when that stream of consciousness finishes and that flow finishes, it's like, okay, cool. And then what I'll do, and sometimes I don't always do it in this order. The other thing that I do is I will write out usually, it's a bit of a way of that I think Abraham Hicks talked about, getting into the vortex. And you might call it that or not, but I used to, I used to think about it, I have to do my I am statements, right? So the I am statements is me writing in my journal all of the things that I want to be, have, create, do, as if they're already done. So for instance, I am glowing, I am healthy, I have abs even when I'm resting. I am ripped. I am gracious. I'm kind. I'm creative. I am motivated. I am motivating. I am inspired. I am inspiring. I am gracious. I am kind. I am boundaries. I am delightful. I am sexy. I am hot. I am the best roller derby player that I could possibly be. I am on the team. I am strong. I am resilient. So I would just kind of go through all of those things and just do all of the I am statements that I could possibly think of until I'm like, is there any more? No. And then inadvertently there'd always be another few that sort of pop in. It's like, okay, cool. I also do my money in there. So I am wealthy. I am rich. I am magnetic. I am addictive. I am abundant. I am flow. I am inspired. I am intuitive. So like I keep going on, and then they'd run out, and it's like, okay, is there anything else? No. Okay, cool. And then sometimes that would lead to more or not. So I guess they're kind of like those two activities are the stock standard things that happen in here on a daily basis. Other times, depending on what's going on, if I'm having a bit of a mind meld over, I don't know, something, like at different times, I'm still working through money shit and, just #human, all of that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, great. I'm writing in here. Or I might not have an idea for a program when I'm like, come on, I know that there should be one there. What the fuck is going on? I might then go and think about a journal prompt that might be around, well, for instance, if I wasn't feeling like I was creatively blocked, what would I be talking about? And then, so I'd kind of try and unpack and release any kind of blocks that come up. So I might write, I'm just bored with all the things, this is really, there's the things again, I'm just bored with all the things. And it's like, well, if you weren't bored with all the things, what would you be doing? What would you be talking about? And then that always layers, it kind of like, if I'm journaling on that, it drills down into the thing, all the things that needs to be worked through or released. It's like, oh wow, thank God that's gone. If I've got doubts about something, I might write about it. Yeah, so that's my journaling process. So I suppose the first two things that happen without fail is this stream of consciousness and I'll call them my I am statements. And, you know, it doesn't matter which order they get done. And then if there's something going on that I'm experiencing doubt or fear or anxiety or overwhelm around, I'm like, all right, and then I'll journal on that to unpack that. Interestingly, yesterday, and I tried to talk about this in the, well, I know I talked about it in the live, but I tried to talk about it in the email. The thing that happened yesterday with this hot as fuck thing actually came as a result of me writing, I wrote, so I make this amount of money, I make this much money, I am productive as fuck. I am as fuck about all of the things actually, you know, hot, motivated, clear. And it's like, to me, it was like that it wasn't just I am hot, I am motivated, I am clear, I am driven, I am inspired, I am energetic, I am fun, I am sexy, I am toned, I am ripped, I am desirable. Is like, how can I up that vroom, like the vroomness, like I talked about yesterday, which I actually wrote vroomness in my journal yesterday. It's like, actually, you know what? It's like, it's got to be like as fuck. Like, how do we create that level of certainty? Like, this is a done fucking deal. And it's just like, I am productive as fuck. I am hot as fuck. I am motivated as fuck. I am driven as fuck. Like, then so on and so forth. And then the question that I wrote was like, how as fuck are you? And when was the last time that you decided? And that was that thing that just kind of like, it was almost like if you guys have ever felt, it's like a base chakra activation. So right at the base of your tailbone, and I could feel the vroomness, right? Just kind of like winding up my spine, right? Just going like, I'm just like, yeah, like this is, you know, when was the last time that you actually decided that you were this certain about freaking anything? And that was how the program was created. Yes, Andrea, all of the fucks. and this is the other thing. I'm just like, oh my God, are people, you know, there was a lot of fucks in that thing. Like, you know, I'm just like, I don't know if this is just, is this a little much? Is it a bit much? And again, it was just like, is this really like, is this, I mean, I'm kind of known for swearing, but this was over the top swearing, right? And it's like, really, is this like, really? This just feels a little bit much. And it's like, nah. And it's like, do I really need to talk about it like this? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Let's just give it a crack and we'll see what happens. And it was really funny. Like one of this lady that I was saying yesterday, she messaged me. I hadn't even built the sales page yet, and I hadn't even launched it. I did that live yesterday while I was waiting at netball, waiting for Ezra to finish netball training. I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, before I'd even done the live stream where I was talking about it, this lady Jess had said, you know, oh my gosh, like because I'd written the post that was something along the lines of, I've just had the most quick download, badass download I've had in a really long time. Like, this is just going to be, this is ridiculous. Like, I'll do a live later on about it. And she's gone, oh my gosh, I love all your new programs. I need to have all of the new programs. I literally had done the live stream. I drove home. And while I was in the car, I was building out the sales page. So I had, like I said to you yesterday, I had no way of even, if anybody had said, yes, I want this thing, I actually had no way of even taking money because I didn't have any way of even taking money because I hadn't built out the order forms yet. I hadn't, and I mean, I still don't have a sales page because, I mean, we start tomorrow. So, you know, there is all of that. So that was that. That was how out of the journal that happened, and then that thing. And then you've just got to trust what comes out. And I suppose that's the thing where if you are, I think this is possibly like the hardest thing for a lot of us who are very certainty driven, who are like, we might be structure driven and things like that. you know, that's absolutely me a lot of the time. It's kind of like, okay, well, you know, this isn't sort of following the proper process. You know, it's just all a little bit weird. And, you know, okay, you've just got to trust what it is that comes out, and then act upon it. And what will happen will happen. And what doesn't happen won't happen. You know, it's just the law of all of the things. All right, so I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Have an amazing Wednesday. I can't believe it's Wednesday again. It's completely flying. It's definitely insane. Love you and leave you. I just popped a little bit of a, yes, I have. I've just popped in the comments there some information on the 2-day hot as fuck blitz, because, you know, why would I not do that? Where we're going through and rewiring all of the things. So in there, we are working through the eight segments of everything that, you know, that is really needed in order to manage your mindset, right? So we're going through being really aligned. And we've talked, thanks Joss, actually, for, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Joss. I think I am. I know you've been here for years, so I really hope I'm saying your name right. Just asked the question about journaling and stuff like that. So that's really the first thing that we work through tomorrow. Then we're getting into badass business babery, because why not? And then health recoding and things like that to operate at maximum energetic efficiency as well as physical efficiency. Fun. You know, how many times, like after the 4th module tomorrow that we're going to go through is about fun. And I think this is really interesting. And I remember being asked in 2013, the start of 2013, what do you do for fun, Nicola? And I'm like, well, I've got my kids and I've got my business and I'm doing this and I go out for coffee with friends. And I was looked at like I had 3 heads. I'm like, what? Oh, thank you. Oh, it is Just, not a Juzz. Just. Excellent. Oh, got you, short for Justine. Thank you for clarifying that. Oh, that's awesome. I feel really awful asking, because you have been following for forever, right? For years. So I'm really glad that I've got that right. You know, and that's actually why I started playing roller derby, because it's actually really important that you've got something, I think, that you've got something outside of business. I mean, to me, business is fun, like for the most of the time, not all the time, but the majority of the time it's fun. So we want to have a look at ways of being able to bring more fun into your life and into your business. Then obviously balance, well, you know, balance the way that it initially thought is kind of like it's got to be an even set of scales, and I disagree. I don't think that's right at all. Then we've got your love life. So, and I guess this is where I wanted to talk about, and a lot of the things that I get asked about is how Dom, my husband, is number one, still my husband. And number 2, how is it that we're still able to, you know, grow together? And I think this is a big thing that I've learned off the brink of being divorced in 2014, 2015. There's a lot of interesting things that we've implemented within our relationship in order to still number 1, be together, but number 2, also be ridiculously and probably sickly in love by some people's measure. So we're going through that. One of the big things is about being productive as well, right? It's like, one of the questions I get a lot is how do you, Nicola, get all of the things done? And so we'll be going through that. And then the last one is some money rewiring. So I ran a program going back in 2014 called the Rich Bitch Academy, and it was all around understanding money, how money energetically works, and how you can tap into more of it and understand the archetypes and things like that that are available around that. So that's what all of this is about. I've got the link in there if you've got any questions about it, if you're not sure if it's right for you or whatever, or if you're like, oh my God, Nicola, I just need to be in it. Let me know. Otherwise, I will be talking with you tomorrow about something fabulous. I don't know what it will be as yet. We will be on at 11. I thank you for your patience with me running a bit behind. We will say thank you to ABC Southern Queensland for the radio interview when it goes live. All right, everybody, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.